Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming down here. So welcome to our Systems Engineering Lab. I'm Dave Schneider. I'm the Director of MS Studies for Systems Engineering, and honestly, it's an honor to be talking with you all today about our program. Now, for today's program here, we're going to be going over, first of all, what is system engineering? Why is this really the popular degree that's really just growing, in such higher demand overall? Right? We'll talk a little bit about that. And then obviously we'll get down into our actual degree requirements of how we help you guys prepare for that career that much more. We'll go into a couple examples of some of our course offerings for that. We get to talk about the MS projects, which is one part I always get really excited about telling you guys about, and also mentioning kind of a new specialization that we have in energy systems as well. Obviously, energy being a really important system that we're all is really critical to our lives right now. Then Jessica will take it over with regards to some of our admissions elements for this, but we'll both be sticking around for any questions that you guys have here at the end. Sound good? All right, let's talk about system engineering. Now, often when I'm trying to describe system engineering, I like to try to kind of think about some of the scenarios that you might deal with, or the reasons why this field even evolved. So I used to work for NASA, so I like to use an example from NASA. Let's imagine you were working for NASA, and you were being asked to build a brand new satellite system, something that no one's ever built before, right? Maybe you got 1,000 different experts all weighing in with their different opinions as to what are things we need to worry about the most. And there's all kinds of uncertainty, though, because, again, no one's ever done this before, so there's lots of risk. And somehow you have to weigh across all those different perspectives, all those different risks and uncertainty, and still feel confident enough to put $1 billion into this project. Roll the dice just once and say, yes, this project will be a success. How the heck do you pull that off? Right? And how the heck do you pull that off repeatedly? Well, that's what a lot of system engineering gets at the heart of, really helping us to work across all these different kinds of uncertainty and risk and all these different kinds of stakeholder needs as a part of this too, so we come up with a solution that actually proves the value of people behind. Another thing that you'll often hear system engineering talk about is what they say is getting the right design, getting the design right. And let me kind of emphasize this with another example you might be familiar with. So imagine there's a major tech company out there, and they're all excited about this new product that they're going to put out there, right? Oh, it's like, this is going to be great. It's going to be a huge seller. Everyone's going to want this. And yet when they release it, nobody's buying it. Why is that? Right? Huge tech company, really, really smart people, tons of resource behind it, and yet it's not selling. The problem is, actually, not that they didn't develop potentially a good solution. The problem is they solved the wrong problem. They didn't understand everything that the stakeholders needed as a part of that. Some other group, even though they might not be as technically savvy, if they're able to demonstrate how they're better able to meet those stakeholders' needs, that's the one that everybody's buying, right? So you can understand why this system engineering skill set is starting to become that much more valuable, right? Now, because when we present our work and talk about how to solve these things, we do so in a very good, objective way. We don't talk from a salesman perspective. We want to make good, strong engineering arguments behind that. And so we're able to, lots of times, be able to justify our decisions very well. In fact, many times you may have heard the idea of achieving influence without authority, like early in your career, so being able to make a big difference in what the work that you're doing. A lot of system engineering tools will give you means for being able to demonstrate. I can not only show you that our idea is why we think is one of the best ways. I can actually objectively prove it to you. I can measure other solutions, my solution, and I can come up with a good objective argument as to why this is the best way to go forward. That's a really, really strong statement to be able to make, even in earlier career. And as such, as a lot of system engineers are able to do this kind of work, they're often people who are promoted pretty quickly and find themselves often going into leadership and management positions. Because let's face it, who do you want to have in leadership and management but the person who can make really well-defended decisions and justified decisions? So hopefully that gives you a taste of what system engineering, why it is so popular as a whole. And lots of times when you're talking with recruiters, because I'm sure you guys are interested in the jobs afterwards, system engineers are often described as the T-shaped engineer, if you will. Is a broader term, where you have a depth in something, which is whatever your undergraduate degree might be, right? So whatever discipline that is. But then you have the system engineering skills that allows you to be able to work across all those different skill sets. And this was part of that. And we as system engineers, because we're able to, weigh across all these kinds of needs and risks and things of this nature, we very naturally, serve as T-shaped engineers. Now, to help you guys be able to do this, we have actually a fairly small core to our overall program, allowing you a good amount of flexibility in it. Now, great to be able to say that we're part of a top 10 school, as you know, Cornell, within our engineering team, particularly within system engineering here. We definitely have world-class faculty and students. I mean, it's actually a really, really exciting time here for Cornell System Engineering, because we have brought in a whole lot of new faculty who have got fantastic record behind them. Erica Palmer just joined our group. There's a group called INCOSI, which is Professional Science System Engineering. Erica is one of 2 authors in the world on the INCOSI Book of Knowledge in the area of social technical systems. One of the top 2, again, in the world, just joined our program. Cliff Whitcomb just joined our program. He actually largely led the effort to define what it is to be a system engineer for the U.S. military. So he actually helped us set what that standard is for it. So we've got some really, really talented people as a part of our program, to just give you an example. But as much as it's great to have these things, one of the things I really think that distinguishes our program from other system engineering programs out there is we take a very much an applied approach. We don't want you to just be able to learn the methodologies behind these things. We want you to actually be able to do something with it, make that difference as a part of this. So to learn to help you with that, we do have 3 core courses to get you started. The first one is Model-Based System Engineering. This is a 4-credit course that really walks you through the entire B-diagram design process, which if you haven't been exposed to before, is how do you start out with some fluffy customer need, trying to actually bring it down to something technical that I can actually make, and then in the end, be able to prove that you have a really strong solution for them. We're going to give you a whole suite of tools along the way. And one of the things that students love to hear about this course, there are no exams, none whatsoever, as a part of it. You're going to start working on a final project more or less in about the 2nd week of the course, and keep on working all the way through the end, so you walk out of there with a really nice fat report that you can show off to your current employer, future potential employer, that this is what I can actually do. I can make this kind of a difference. In fact, one of my favorite stories about that was a few years back now, we had a student, a MEng student, who applied for a job at the Pentagon. They were looking for a PhD in systems engineering. He only had his MEng, but he applied anyway. And he showed them the work that he did in this class. And he said, wow, you can actually do everything that we would have expected a PhD student to be able to do. The job is yours. And a couple of years back, when they were deciding who won the contract for the new presidential helicopters, he was actually one of the people who decided who won that contract. He's since gone on to work for the CIA, and I haven't heard from him much since as a result, but still, again, hopefully that speaks to the caliber of it. We've also had stories of some students who have done some entrepreneurial things with their work. A few years back, there was a student who raised $250,000 in venture capitalist funds just in the first semester while they were taking the class, and by the end of the school year, they raised an additional $1 million, from largely based on the work that they did in that course. We've also seen, even mid-semester now, it's exciting, students taking some of their mid-semester work on job interviews, and even after they got accepted on the job, they showed them the work, and they even got promoted before they even started. So, and I can't guarantee that for everybody, but it's been happening enough that it's worth bearing repeating, that these kinds of things can happen for it. So hopefully that speaks to the real professional quality of the work that we're doing, and the kind of impact and value that is being recognized by employers. So that's kind of one of your your core courses. On the other side, we have system analysis, behavior and optimization, which goes into some more technical depth and rigor, gives you good optimization tools, things of this nature, far more mathematical depth, right? Because this is a master's degree. You want that level of rigor in your master's degree. On the other side of it, we have a project leadership and management course, which in some ways almost speaks more to the sociology of systems engineering, recognizing that people play a very important role in design and operation of systems. But that's it. That's our whole core for it. The rest of it, you have flexibility as a part of that. So you do have to obviously take some electives to fill out the rest of this. At least one has to be a modeling analysis elective, again, to show some good depth and rigor to your overall master's degree. But as we are very much focused on being applied, you also have to have at least one applications course as a part of that. You are optionally allowed to take up to one management course and have it count towards your degree. as I said, a lot of our students tend to find themselves going off into leadership or management roles. Hence, they may want to take a management course. You don't have to. You don't have to take any if you don't want to, but you can take one and have it count towards your degree. You're actually welcome to take more if you want. They just won't count towards your degree. But again, if you want to, it's there. And finally, of course, the design project. This is a 2-semester experience, taken typically for 3 credits each semester as a part of it. And the idea behind here is that here's where you can actually apply what you've been learning in your classes, right? For this. So again, as it is a 2-semester experience, you really get to get that much more involved with it. And again, walk out of there with a nice report, be able to show potential employers proven experience. You've actually used what you've been learning on this project. It's a real-world project that's with real-world stakeholders as a part of it. You can demonstrate what it is that you can do to them. Not just, it's great to be able to say you come from Cornell, right? Got a great grade, part of the Cornell System Engineering program. These are all good things to mention to recruiters that will help them pay attention to you. But you want that one dream job, right? That's out there for it. Your project can be a great way to have that stepping stone, to show that proven experience, to say, yeah, I'm worth putting in there, coach. Give me the chance. I'll make it happen. Now, there are a huge number of electives that you can take on campus as well, over 100. Here's just a list of some of our more popular ones that we have overall for that. Some of the ones that are underlined are some of the newer courses that are coming up, because again, like I said, it's a really exciting time here in our system engineering program. We have new courses coming up all the time. In fact, I think we've got at least 3 new courses coming up next semester alone. So this is a really rapidly growing area for us overall. And again, if you have questions on any of these, be happy to take them. But again, just to give you a small taste. Now, one thing I do want to mention with some of our electives, which is kind of nice, not only can it meet your degree requirements, but you can actually also get additional certifications as a part of it. For example, if you take SysN 5300, Design of Highly Reliable Systems, take the 3-credit version, get at least a B+, you can walk out of there with a green belt in 6 Sigma. If you take the 4-credit version, get at least a B+, you walk out of there with a black belt in 6 Sigma. And this is actually certified by the Council for 6 Sigma, so it's typically very easy to transfer the your Cornell certificate here into the workplace. So they might have their own black belt training program. Many times they will accept ours just as well. For that. In fact, we've actually had ours externally reviewed. Even prior to the Council 6 Sigma, it was noted for its strong statistical rigor as a part of it. So it's a very, very strong black belt program that we offer here. Now, one thing that I'll say that is a very popular course, but within our system engineering course, if you're a system engineer, you get priority in these courses for it. And I like to think that the reason that's so popular is because, again, it's a really strong educationally popular course, but it may also have to do with the fact that it shows that 2 people are doing the same exact job, and one of them's got a black belt in 6 Sigma. Statistically, that person has a significantly higher salary for doing the same exact work just because they have that black belt. So that might also be a reason why it's popular. But of course, if that's the line of work that you're actually interested in. Also, big data, machine learning, these are hot topics right now, right? So you can take these 2 courses, 5800, 5880, computational optimization, industrial big data analytics and machine learning. Those 2 courses give you a real nice 1-2 punch in this area. And you can walk out of there with the data science certificate as well, or computational data science certificate for it. Which again is another nice thing to be able to demonstrate to employers that you have some additional expertise in this specific area, for that. So again, this still meets your elective requirements at the same time for doing that. Speaking of entering sets of elective requirements, as I may mention, we have a new energy specialization as a part of it. So Cornell, in particular, has a Cornell Energy Systems Institute, which has been established for a while, and we were really honored that the dean asked systems engineering to be the group to actually lead a specialization within their MN program in the energy area as a whole. And I was speaking about new faculty. We have another new faculty member, Samita Silviera. She comes with decades of experience of actually implementing alternative energy systems and new energy policies across Europe. And she's joined our program, is helping to actually lead this effort as a whole for this. Now, the degree requirements are pretty much exactly the same as what we've talked about before, but there are a certain subset of electives you do have to take from it. But I will point out, interestingly enough, computational optimization and industrial big data analytics are two of those courses, so you can not only get the energy specialization, but the big data certificate as a part of it, while also getting your systems engineering all at the same time for that. In fact, that's not all. Actually, if that core course that I mentioned, SysN 5100, we're actually really honored. It was the first experience in the world to be recognized by NCOSE. Again, that's Professional Science System Engineering, as being knowledge exam equivalent, meaning you get at least an 85 in this course. Overall, you can walk away with NCOSE ASAP or possibly CSAP certification if you have years of experience already behind you for that without having to take any additional examination. Just take this one course, which you have to take anyway. It's part of your core, and you can get this extra certification, which is particularly valuable if you're planning on doing any work with the governments. Government agencies in particular really like to see that NCOSE certification. And it's valued in other areas as well, but in particular, that's one area where it makes a really big difference for it. And I should mention, the course is not curved in any way, but the average is often about an A- in the course, so the vast majority of our students actually do walk away with that NCOSE certification. That's pretty cool. Just on top of getting your degree as a part of that for it. Now, of course, I also want to highlight how this all then ties into your MH project. Now, these are real-world projects, so every year they are changing and evolving as a part of this. So when you join our program, we'll tell you about the current slate of projects that are available. But I can give you a taste of some of the ones that have been done in the past, and some of the ones that continue to seem to reinvent themselves. Out of this lab in particular, some that are run, Cornell University Sustainable Design, or CUSD. It's the largest, most diverse student project team on campus, doing all kinds of work in alternative energy, building systems, even getting into food systems now as well as a part of it. And you can have as many as 30 different majors working across all the different projects that they do. So some really, really rich system problems for people to be able to work on for it. In fact, they've earned their fair share of gongs for the work too. You guys heard of the Roosevelt campus, or campus down in Roosevelt Island, the Cornell Tech campus? Yeah, for it. Well, CUSD was the only student organization that actually thanked by President Scorton, who was a Cornell president at the time, for our efforts to help win that. That was a $500 million project, right? And our students played a key role in helping us to get that. Imagine having something like that on your resume, right? You can make that level of impact. In fact, Provost Fox at the time, he actually asked a bunch of our students to help to investigate alternative energy systems on that island, some of which were actually installed today. But my favorite compliment from the group came from Rick Fergizzi, who was the founder and the president and CEO of U.S. Green Building Council. So if you've heard like LEED building certification, like LEED Gold, LEED Platinum, he was basically the head person behind that. Well, he came to visit us. And I'll never forget the quote after like seeing a whole bunch of our projects. He's like, your students are unlike any other students I've met anywhere else. They actually do things. I'm like, yes, we actually do real-world projects. These are an opportunity to make a real difference with these things. He was so excited, put a bunch of our students on a cross-country bus tour, and got to go to Greenbelt and stand up and be recognized before an audience of 20,000 people. That was pretty cool, right? For it. But you can make things like that happen. You really want to take ownership of it. Cornell Cup Robotics is another major group that's there. They got repeated recognition from the Obama White House, actually one of 7 university efforts in 2015 to be recognized by the White House for actually making the only group to actually repeat in 2016, the 1 in 9 out of like 1,500 university and K-12 efforts that were seriously considered. In other words, I got invited down to the White House like 7 times. Thanks to the work that we did there, right? Again, think about that kind of caliber of work. Right now they're doing some pretty interesting work where they're doing everything from a special feature it's actually going to be at the World Cup in November, so that's really exciting for them. So they've got some other robots that are being licensed. We can tell you more about it if you come and join the team. But there's lots of other projects too. There are obviously ones that are focused on energy systems, even has sometimes healthcare systems, some food system, transportation. Systems is another really big area as well as a part of it. But the slate of projects is always changing as well for it. I'd be happy to take any questions, of course, you have on these things, but hopefully I impress upon you this is a real opportunity to demonstrate some great proven experience on that, a real-world project to make that difference, in that interview, showcase what you can really do. Because I remember when I was young, I was like, oh man, if only someone would give me the chance, right? I could show them I could do such really cool stuff, right? I could make that difference, right? For it. Your project is that opportunity. Make the most out of it. Again, maybe we'll get to go down to the White House again, thanks to you guys, right, for this stuff. So with that, I'm going to actually hand it over to Jessica here to go over some of the application stuff. But again, I'm very happy to stick around and answer any questions that you guys might have. Thank you very much, Jessica.
Thanks, David. So I'm Jessica. I'm the GFA. For the applications, you'll need a bachelor's degree in engineering, mathematics, or science with a suitable GPA. Undergraduate course in probability and statistics, that's a requirement. And we can, the application fee is $105, but if you reach out to me, we can waive that for you. I can give you a code to be able to do that. You'll only need one letter of recommendation. The GRE is waived for this year, and you'll need to fill out an early admission petition, which you can find on our website, signed by your undergraduate coordinator. And just so you guys are aware, applications for the spring semester are due by November 15th. Fall would be May 31st. And then you'll email me when you're getting ready to apply, and I can help you through the process as well. And I'm also going to introduce you to Cornell. He is our current MN student, and he's going to talk a little bit about his experience in systems engineering.
Yeah. Hi, so I started in MN, and it's been like about 2 months, but my experience so far has been like everything that Dr. Steiner said. Like, you get to really work on projects, like hands-on projects. You're just not learning things and like applying, making a thesis or something, and just like getting grades, but you can actually like apply in your MX project the tools that are taught us. So like really interesting courses that you can also choose. Of course, the one is that there's a course model-based systems engineering, which gives you a lot of like the tools that you apply to organize and manage your like work, and how you can break down a complex system into like manageable subsystems. And there's also socio-technical systems, which is taught by Dr. Erica Palmer, which is like really interesting, as it like also teaches you about the social context of a technology. And so far I've been like that course has taught me like how to think in a holistically, how to build a holistic solution, not just from a technically standpoint, like it ticks all the boxes, but it also exists like environmentally, doesn't affect anything, and in harmony with the society. So it teaches you how you can build policies as well. So you get to collaborate with people, not just engineers, but also like from public administration students, psychology students, all these other kind of students as well. So it's been great. And the faculty is really amazing. Like if you can get a hands on Dr. Snyder, or like they're really busy, but when you can talk to them, they'll really help you not only in your coursework, but like they'll also guide you through whatever career path you're planning to. Like they'll really give you good advice, and they're always there for you.
Thank you. Okay, so this is just our contact information. My information's up there, so if you guys have any questions after today or have questions about admissions, you can definitely reach out to me. We also have our systems engineering email as well that you can go to. It's usually me emailing anyways. And then obviously Oliver is our director, and David Schneider is the director of MH. And I think that's it. Thank you. And if you guys have questions now, we're here to answer them.
Go for it.
Is there also an early admission for fall semester?
Yes. Yep.
On the flyers, the process will include 2 letter of recommendations and also no official proposal.
So that's just for our general on-campus admissions. For early admits, it's only one.
Okay.
Yep.
Please.
So I saw online there's like a bunch of different specializations besides just the energy systems. So like, is that something that you have to take all the classes under that specialization to get?
So specializations, and there's things called pathways, and there's even some debate in working with New York State as what's going to be called specialization or what's going to be called pathways. But a pathway, which is what they're probably more online for, are just suggestions for sets of courses. So you're interested in this particular area, great. There are how many hundreds of courses that are available across engineering alone, not to mention other colleges, right? For it. So you say, all right, well, let's try to pare it down for you at least a little bit, and say here are some ones that we think you might want to take a closer look at for that. So it's really just meant as a kind of way for advising purposes. You don't have to follow that pathway for it, even if that's an area that you're interested in. It's just to help you to be aware that these courses exist in order to help you potentially in this area.
Okay. So when you graduate with just a systems engineering degree, not necessarily specialization, or something you can like say this is what I specialize in.
Currently now, yeah, but you can more or less talk to any recruiter and say, hey, I've taken this set of courses which are were recommended along this pathway, and advertise yourself that way for it. We are looking into other different kinds of ways of recognition for expertise in different areas, but I'd say at that point, there's still some development there. And again, we also have to worry about basically some things with New York State. We're all for bending the rules a lot, but we do have to be legal. We kind of draw the line at that one. So. Fair enough, would you say?
So if I'm taking several system courses, but I'm not using that credit towards my undergraduate degree, can I transfer the credit to the MH program?
What transfer credits are you asking about?
Like, can I just directly use the credit for the MH program?
Well, I would say it would depend upon the courses, right? They have to be relevant to the actual degree.
5100.
Yeah, so if you're taking 5100, and that would certainly we would not require you to take it again if that's what you're wondering. And those credits would should be able to transfer towards.
Yeah, is there like a limit? Because I'm taking several. I'm also taking 5900 and also one seminar, the energy seminar course. So
We'd have to fill out a petition, a transfer request petition, so that we take a closer look at that, for that particular situation. But yeah, if it doesn't count towards your undergraduate degree, you can potentially bring in additional credits as an early admit. It makes it a little bit easier for some of that. But I don't want to give you wrong information, but I do know there is that process that you can follow to find out for sure for your particular case.
Okay. And also we're applying early admit for the fall semester, right?
When is your last semester of your undergrad?
Next semester will be last.
So she would be applying for this semester, or for the spring semester. Sorry. So if your last undergrad semester is next semester, you would be applying now.
For now.
Yep.
Okay.
So basically, if your spring semester, you're both an undergrad and an MS student to some degree.
Yep.
Okay.
Any other questions?
And when will we be able to know the decision results?
You get it fairly quickly. Once we start getting enough applications, I'll send it off to the committee to review, and we usually have an answer pretty quickly.
And should we submit the test report this semester or just everything before?
Whatever you can, just for your transcript. So whatever you have right now, I will submit that.
Anything else? You can ask our student too, if you want. If you want to get their perspective. Please.
Is it possible to get financial aid for the MA program or not?
There are some fellowships that you can apply for, but they're fairly few. Just to be honest, as part of that.
If you reach out to me, I can share the ones that we do have. Yeah.
Anything else? Well, the contact information is in our slides there. And again, just a reminder, my own email address is drs44 for that. By all means, please feel free to email me if you have any other questions. And I usually try to get back within one business day. For whatever reason, I missed that on that one business day. By all means, please email me again. I'd much rather be emailed again than miss on something for this. But we'll be sticking around here for a little bit if you do have any other questions even today. And I'd say, hey, definitely go for it. I mean, tell your friends to go for it too. We don't have like a magic number for the number of people that we're going to bring into the program. We bring in as many as we feel that we can provide a strong experience for as a whole for it. So I mean, go for it. I mean, you miss 100% of the time you don't swing. Somebody's got to get it. Might as well be you. Seriously. So I hope they have the chance to work with you guys more. And thank you all very much.
And then also reach out to me if you have any questions after today, and feel free to grab pizza.
Oh, absolutely. Important part of being a grad student. Free food.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.